Obviously, we're not at the Hershey show.
No.
We found ourselves in Dawson City and we took a wrong turn. We took a left.
Instead of going straight.
And we ended up here in the Arctic. A few miles from the Arctic Ocean. Be prepared for some Arctic jokes. But we thought we would give you a tour of our Thor Magnitude XG32. A lot of people have asked to see the inside of our rig, Curiosity, and it is surviving up here in Alaska and in the Arctic. Curiosity has been through the Dalton Highway and now the Dempster Highway, along with McCarthy and Denali Highway.
Right, so we've put about 10,000 miles on this in Alaska. We're in month number 6, boondocking for 90% of the time. It's doing an amazing job, and we're on a 20-day boondocking trip right now.
And we're gonna give you the cold, hard facts, since we're in the Arctic, on all of the mods and all of the specs on our Thor Magnitude. I couldn't help myself.
Oh man, 20 days in the Arctic with this fella.
Get ready for some more. This is what it looks like after all those road trips.
Right, so have a little grace, but just remember, we've been living in this thing hard.
It looks like this now, but it did look like let's go and take a tour of Curiosity. So this is a Thor Magnitude XG32, a lot of storage, and that's one of the things that we really liked about it. This is Arctic dust right here, folks, so you know,
Ew.
That's good stuff right there. What we did is we put our inverter up here, and that will come into play later in the tour when we go inside. The rear passenger side compartment, it's got room for some big bulky stuff and some skinnier things like macerator pumps and water pumps. This worked out well for our stabilizer jacks and to get us level. Second compartment on the driver's side. Really, it's a good use of space. One of the mods we did is just to make sure that we have enough sewer hose. I've used this twice now, and I've been really thankful both times that I've had it. This is my extra length. Under here, another decent sized compartment. The tanks get in the way a little bit, so I devoted this to our water and sewer equipment. And last but not least, our onboard generator keeps us in power wherever we go, especially in the Arctic.
Well, as you can see, there are no more food boxes, but I did rearrange some things, and so we do have some chips and a few other little snacks in here. And we did take on a spare tire to make everybody happy. We kept getting a lot of grief for that. So again, like David said, one of the things we love is the storage, but you have to organize your storage, and I found these at Walmart. They are these adjustable racks, and not only do they adjust up and down, but you can also, like I took this shelf and then made 3 sections out of it, and this is where we keep all of our paper supplies and all our computer supplies. So originally, this came with some recliners.
Yeah, not very comfortable either.
No, but for some reason, we started digging into it and looking underneath the recliners, and we discovered a lot of unused space.
Yes, because we knew we'd be doing some boondocking and we needed batteries.
We did. Well, he knew we were going to be doing boondocking. I didn't realize we were going to be boondocking like 80% of the time, 90% of the time while we're up here. So yes, we did need batteries. Looked at a lot of different options, and we somehow discovered, I don't know how we ran into this, but we found this couch at IKEA.
Yeah, and it was really nice and comfortable. But
Very
we thought, man, how are we going to get that in the RV and how are we going to make storage out of it?
Yeah.
Well, she wanted to tear it apart.
Oh, and I
A perfectly good couch.
Well, with IKEA though, they're already apart. So we picked and choose. So we really only used 3 pieces: the back, and the 2 sides, and then that was it.
Yep.
And we ended up building a platform and then put everything on top. But what's underneath is really cool.
Yeah, that's the key right there.
Yes.
All right, this doesn't look real comfortable. We had to build a platform. We kept the seat belts. We've just stuffed them back underneath.
For our use.
Underneath this is the heart of why we even started this to begin with.
Yes, 10 kilowatts of battery power. So one of the things that we didn't want to give up with having a recliner is a place to put your feet. And so what we did is we built these drawers with this push slide, and this pulls out, and we put a pillow on it, and then we have a place to put our feet. And when we're not using this for our feet, we also have an end table. And don't judge, this is where I keep some of my journaling supplies in here. So it has a ton of room, and when the kids are using the camper, they can put all their toys and clothes in there. But we have the drawer here, and also the drawer here that we just keep miscellaneous shoes and stuff in. So Curiosity came with this really weird curtain that wrapped around, but it didn't go all the way to the bottom. So I kind of redesigned the curtains and made a curtain for privacy and also for temperature.
All right, so standard was a closet, but it was kind of a weird space. So we modified it.
Yes, so we added all these shelves, and now we stack all our shoes in there and some umbrellas. And then I made these little pouches right here for scarves and hats for our summer trip here in the Arctic. And I also made this pouch for the vacuum cleaner accessories, and then David installed the vacuum cleaner here, and then we keep all our other cleaning supplies there.
Accoutrements.
Accoutrements, that's right.
The kitchen wasn't bad.
It was bad.
But we liked the sink. But Sandra didn't want standard sink grates. Oh no, they had to be special.
I was fine with standard grates, but the ones that they
No, you weren't.
The ones that they make would not fit in this hole. So we found this awesome welder, and he added the length of the feet, and raised it. So now we have really nice sink grates.
And they fit great.
Right. The other thing we added is okay, don't look too close, it's not that clean. The cooktop, and again for space, we made this, and it works fantastic, but I do have to wait for it to cool before I can actually set it on here. But this has significantly increased the workspace.
Yes, for some reason wood burns.
Yeah, funny.
With heat.
So I don't know if you noticed, but we do have a soda stream, and David found this ingenious way to permanently mount it on here. But you can't get those little tiny canisters. So David plumbed a CO2 tank right here. So we have the CO2 tank plumbed into our soda stream, and thanks to several of you guys, you said we had to have it sitting upright versus laying down, where we keep it stored underneath the dinette. So thank you guys very much.
So we also made some modifications underneath the stovetop.
Yes, we added this drawer, and then we flipped these 2 facades and moved everything over, and now we have a place for cookie sheets and stuff.
Sometimes it's the little details that matter. We flipped this hinge, so it makes it easier to access this little cubby in here. And that way, we don't have to get down on the floor to access it.
Another little organization thing that we added to make things really nice is we added these 2 little spice racks, and then when we're transit, I just put this little foamy thing on there, and that keeps them in place. And this is a standard small apartment residential fridge, but maybe in another video we'll show you how we can fit 41 meals, maybe plus, into this space.
I think it's 46.
One of the mods that we made, all right, the ice maker works.
That's right.
Is David raised this up, which you have that choice, because this space was really unusable. And then he cut a hole in the rack so the ice can drop down.
Which it did.
Which it did.
And thus getting 46 plus meals.
Yeah. So pantry space obviously is a huge premium, whether you're in a stick and brick or an RV. So one of the things that we did is we added some shelving. So these were the original shelves, these three, and I wanted to add these half shelves just to fit some small things and give some flexibility as well. So we can get everything on here. But one of the key things that I was freaking about was getting the stain to match. This is a two-step staining process, and once all that got figured out, then it matches perfectly. And we went ahead and went with the floating shelf option just for light rate. But yeah, so it makes it really nice. It's very flexible, so some of these tall things can be in the front and the shorter stuff can be in the back.
And you can't tell which is the original and which is the added.
Right. And because of the grandkids, we want to keep all the chemicals up top, and we added another floating shelf up here because I wanted a place for all my rags.
All right, so even though you're boondocking 90% of the time in the Arctic right now, you still need to be clean and take a shower. Well, when we first got Curiosity, this was the shower. We couldn't make it any bigger, but we did modify this because it protruded out about 4, 5, 6 inches.
6 inches.
Sandra would say almost a foot, it felt like it. Reconfigured the whole plumbing so that we could have a flat piece, and then that's our shower.
And the shower head.
And the shower head, we changed that too, and the shower bar so we could raise it up and down because it was a fixed unit right there. And then Sandra likes to use this. This is not a pull-up bar for me. Sandra likes to use this to dry things. Once again, remember that we're in the Arctic boondocking, so things are not pristine in here, but it's usable.
And we also keep our laundry hamper in there when we're in transit.
Closet area is nice. We've got e-bikes. Where do you store those batteries? All right, we've got a fix for that. And I can show you because I always carry a flashlight with me. Yeah, built this little bracket here so that we can store our e-bike batteries and their chargers.
Great place for storage.
Yes. So as you might have seen in another video, and if you haven't, you need to watch it. We designed and installed this snorkel. That's what we're calling it. There was the main vent was coming out of here, and if you didn't mind cooking your feet in bed, this was a great idea. But most of the airflow was coming out of here, and it was kind of starving the other vents that were down in the other part of the unit. So what we did is we said, well, if you can't beat them, join them. So we took this dryer vent elbow from Lowe's, got a dryer vent flexible tubing from Lowe's, and yes, it looks kind of janky.
Oh, it's so
sketchy.
It's ratchety. This is ratchety, right, Jordan?
Very. But I tell you, this works phenomenal. It distributes the heat nicely, and it keeps this place nice and comfortable, and it's a lot more efficient now. So the bathroom, shower, and our bed are connected.
But we don't have a water bed.
Not really. When the shower diverter is on, it puts the water back in here, circulates for our on-demand water heater, which is great. However, the way Thor designed it is that it was coming in right by the water pump. So the water pump was actually recycling hot water, and our water heater couldn't handle it. It was getting up to 130 degrees, and it should be only about 106 or 108 when Sandra adjusts the thermostat. So what I did is I bypassed from where it was down below and then up into the top of the actual water tank. And this is a 75-gallon fresh water tank. So the water from the shower circulates into here, the pump draws it from the bottom, and it's all good and it works great. All right, one of the things we weren't crazy about was the fact that you could just raise it up and that was it. Well, that would not do. We needed a way to pull the heat out of this front cap because let me tell you, this gets hot. So what do? I got a powered fan and it works.
And you figured out how to wire it up.
Yes, figured it out running the wire from here, tapped into the back console here because there's a lot of wires sitting in this little space right here in the cabinet. And this is now a powered fan. So for the last 5.5, almost 6 months, we've been traveling. And if you haven't watched the videos, once again, you need to. We've been all over Alaska and a little bit of Canada as well. That's where we've been. All over. And we've all done it here in the Thor Magnitude XG32. This is a production unit. We've done some modifications that we've shown you, but
it's been great.
It's been working out really good.
Has. I mean, with all these roads and everything that we've been on, we're really, really pleased with this unit.
Yeah, we've been taxing this to the limit, and it's done really well. Now, we've babied it. We've gone slow on the roads.
Yeah. But we haven't had to use a four-wheel drive yet.
That's right. But hopefully we don't have to.
And that F550 chassis has been fantastic going up and down all the elevations.
Yeah, more than enough power to spare, so it's worked great. But that's where we've been, and we're towards the end of our journey. We're going to start to head south. It's been a blast. So we hope you guys have enjoyed the tour.
Going back to my old hometown, picking up the years I leave behind. Getting in my car, I drive as memories fly by. Driving by the fields I used to run through, where you were chasing me. We were riding out under the bleachers when no one could see. Oh, sweet memories of a town I loved, but oh, changed when you